Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandan Vraj Janaranjana Yashodanandan Vraj Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanchari Jamuna Tira Vanchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Prabhupada ki jai Patit Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. So we'll begin with the topic today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayamudhiraye Tanashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavadinashaki. So today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.43. I'll just share my screen. So any one devotee can be my chorus as we progress with this shloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.43. Uvacha chasa hantyasya
Uvacha chasahantyasya
bandhana anayam sati
bandhananayanam sati
mujjatamesham
mujyatamesham
brahmano nitaram guru.
brahmano nitaram guruhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Word by word meaning. Uvacha said, cha and ashanti being unbearable for her, asya his, bandhana being bound, anyanam bringing him, sati the devoted, muchatam just get him released, esha this, brahmana a brahmana, Nitram, our Guru, teacher, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. She could not tolerate Ashwathama's being bound by ropes and being a devoted lady. She said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. Purport. As soon as Ashwathama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwathama knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murder with the consideration of both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of Brahmana. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or a spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or a spiritual master. A guru is called also an acharya or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastras and has helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Ashwathama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or a teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmana. On this consideration, both Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwathama. But to a good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashwathama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was because generally the people accept the son of a Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. Factually, the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualification and not on the merit of simply being the son of Brahmana. But in spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Ashwathama be at once released, and it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally, but still such devotee are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is pure devotee of the Lord. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं श्री गुरुदीनतारणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So welcoming all the devotees for this auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam early in the morning. If you're busy, maybe you can hear the recording later on. That is also fine. But yes, give some time so that we do not lose the continuity of what we are going through, the topics which we are going through on a daily basis. So I would like to thank Matrapati Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity of giving Srimad Bhagavatam class on Monday morning for my purification. So thank you, Prabhuji. So let us continue. We'll try to do a couple of shlokas if the time permits. Otherwise, we'll do only this one shloka. So in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, as soon as Ashwathama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. So here we, in fact, we are getting to see a lot of good quality about Draupadi, and that is, and Draupadi is also proving to be a very good example, in front of us today, that how a devotee should behave for everybody. That is the example, and for Mataji's, this is the example that how a lady, how a wife should behave in such circumstances. So in the previous shlokas, we have heard a lot of good qualities about Draupadi. So I was listening to one of the lecture, and the Prabhuji was mentioning that Draupadi was very chaste lady, and that chastity is something which brings all the strength, all the power to a lady, to a woman. And in the ancient days, you would have heard there was a system called Sati system, and later on that system was turned into the evil practice. And we said we would have read in our books that there were so many people who had to work hard to abolish this sati system, which became the evil practice of the society later on. But in the beginning, this was not a bad practice. The sati system was purely voluntarily available to the ladies who do not want to continue their life after the husband has left the body, because they were so chaste, they were so pure that they did not find any good reason to remain alive when the husband is not when the husband has left the body. And we have seen some very good examples, like example of Gandhari when Dhritarashtra left the body. So even Gandhari left the body. After that, we have heard the example of Pandu leaving the body, and then Pandu's wife, entering the fire and accepting the sati system. So I was listening to the lecture, and then I was wondering that this must be very difficult for a woman to go through the process where she will be burnt alive. But the Prabhuji mentioned very clearly and giving example of Mother Sita. He said, if a lady is very chaste, then fire will not burn her. She will just she will not feel any pain. Of course, the body will be burnt, but she will not feel any pain. And that is what we see, the women who were accepting the sati system voluntarily. They were not shouting, crying when they were burnt. They were they just left body along with their husband. So it is very difficult for us to comprehend that in the current scenario. But yes, this was the system. So that example also we see from Mother Sita, that Mother Sita, when she went through the Agni Pariksha, she very easily cleared that Agni Pariksha. She was not burnt. So that was the time where the husbands were great devotees of the Lord, and the women were serving the husbands. That was their first duty. The top duty is that to serve the husband. So that applies to us also even now in the current scenario. If the husband is a devotee of the Lord, the condition starts like that. If the husband is a devotee of the Lord, so all the wife, the wife has to do only one thing, is to serve the husband properly, help the husband to practice Krishna consciousness properly. So in this, just one austerity will bring all the great fortune to the woman. And it is said that when the woman is very, very chaste, and she is very cooperative in Krishna consciousness, then whatever activities husband is doing, the 50% of the benefit will go to the wife. That's a straight away benefit which will come to the women. That's a very great advantage. So see, if somebody is serving, surrendering, so it doesn't go waste. It will be very helpful for the women because she has served the husband very, very nicely, and because she has helped the husband to perform Krishna consciousness very, very actively. All her children also will be very, very nice Krishna conscious devotees. So when the husband is devotee and the children are devotee, so that house will become a temple. That will not remain a house. It will become a temple, because Lord Krishna is being worshipped there. The mantras, all auspicious Maha Mantra is getting chanted in the Brahma Muhurta or throughout the day in the house. And some wonderful lectures of acharyas are getting played in the house, and children are performing skit of the great pastimes of the Lord. So see, the house has become temple now because the woman is cooperating husband in performing the Krishna conscious activities. So that should be our first priority. We see here Draupadi, she is going through such traumatic situation where her 5 sons have been killed, that too by cheating, not in a war. What difficulty, what we cannot imagine the trouble, the pain Draupadi is going through. But see, in that situation also, she found intolerable that a Brahmana, which is Ashwathama, is arrested like a culprit, and he is brought before her in that condition. So that became intolerable for Draupadi. So we must be thinking, sometimes Matajis, when they come, or, when they have some issues with in the family, they come, they say, my life is very difficult and I'm facing this trouble, that trouble. So when we hear that, actually the trouble is very, very minimal. It is not very great like Draupadi is going through, like Prahlad Maharaj went through. So because of that trouble, people compromise on their Krishna consciousness and they give priority to that trouble which is there. Sometimes people have trouble in the office, sometimes people have trouble with the colleagues, sometimes they have trouble in the house, but that trouble is very, very less, very, very small when we compare to the trouble which Draupadi is facing here. So that is the point to understand that, our Krishna consciousness is like a gem, it's a diamond. And we do not want to miss this diamond just because of small, small quarrels or fights or ego issues, which can come in front of us as a test of the Lord. Because when we are practicing in Krishna consciousness, our own egos can hamper us, the max. Otherwise, there is no other external factor which can affect us. There are no ghostly spirits which can affect us. There are no black magic which can affect us. There are no external power which can affect us. The only thing which can affect us is that the non-cooperation between the devotees and feeling enviousness, about other devotees' progress, and trying to always win over the argument, which argument, or putting forward our own conditions. So these are the things which are going to affect us and our movement. Otherwise, not. Otherwise, we are very, very good because we are chanting Maha Mantra early in the morning. So the first two lines I wanted to stress upon this point, that Draupadi was having so much trouble, but in that troublesome condition also, she did not forget that she is a devotee. And because of her devotee nature, she is feeling very, very intolerable when she saw Ashwathama like that. We'll proceed a little further. So Arjuna arrested Ashwathama, knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of Brahmana. So see, like Ashwathama lost his qualification as a Brahmana because the kind of activity he has done, that activity has taken away that qualification of Ashwathama to be called as Brahmana. So it is all about our action which we perform. You would have heard this saying, actions speak louder than the words. So when we might say 100 things, but in our actions, so I'll come back to the devotees point because that's our main thing and it is applicable to me as well. So we might say that we need to be humble than the grass on the humbler than the grass on the ground, or we need to be tolerable as the tree. We chant early in the morning, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Shahishuna. We might say that I do not want money, I do not want people, I do not want beautiful women. Like we chant early in the morning, na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, we chant. But when we see, when our followers, when our members, when they see us, that this person is saying we need to be humble, but he is the most arrogant person. So we are not living by the example, and those people will lose the confidence. As a leader, I'm talking about myself. Then then if we say that people, if we say that na dhanam, and then on the other side we are madly running behind money, giving all sacrifices, just money, 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 not practicing Krishna consciousness. So that is also wrong, because what can we preach when we see I myself am running for the money like anything, like a mad person. So it is not we cannot say that I'm not we cannot say, speak by words saying that we should not do this. Same thing with the Sundarim. We might say na dhanam na janam na Sundarim, but when we become attracted to the other sex, then it is very easily noted by the Vaishnavas who are us. There are something called vibes, and those vibes are very strong. Whatever we may try to hide, it will not hide. The vibes will make it clear that the person is what kind of person we are. So here, Ashwathama lost all his qualification because the action which he performed was not like a Brahmana's action. In the same manner, if we are practicing Krishna consciousness and if we do not live by the guideline which is given by the Acharyas, then we are losing all our qualification. And then we cannot say that, Krishna is going to protect us, Narsimha is going to protect us all the time. No, because we are not behaving like a devotee, we are not behaving like a Vaishnava, we are behaving like a very arrogant person, and because of that we are going to lose our qualification, and we might be thinking, Are, I was chanting very nicely, Lord did not protect me, I was I faced a lot of difficult situation. No, it is not like that. Lord is always there to protect us, provided we are also living by certain. And even we, many times we perform so many bad activities, but even then we see that Lord is still protecting us. He is giving us all the shelter. But if you want complete protection, 100% waterproof, if you want, then we need to be very, very, we need to live like a very proper Vaishnava and live by the qualities of Vaishnava. Then we can probably call ourselves as a Vaishnava or Vaishnavi. Moving ahead, the next line says, according to the revealed scriptures, a teacher or a spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or a spiritual master. So this is the declaration in the scriptures, that if a teacher or a spiritual master is not behaving as they should behave, then we have all the authority to reject such guru or a spiritual master. So we always see that, the guru is leading by example. So guru is the one who is following four regulatory principles very strictly. Guru is the one who is following the triangle of guru, sadhu, and shastra, not going anything against these three things which we mentioned. Guru is the one who is chanting nicely the 16 rounds and plus. So then the person can be called as a guru. But when we see guru is involved into any of these four activities which are prohibited, then that person cannot be called as a guru. Correct? So the person cannot say, I am your guru and I can do all those things, but you cannot do it. No, such guru can be rejected because we have the authority mentioned in the Shastras. Further, Prabhupada is mentioning a guru is called also an acharya, or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastras and helped his disciple to adopt the ways. Ashwathama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmana. On this consideration, both Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwathama. So this is the point which Prabhupada is trying to bring it out here. But to good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Sastric vision, but as a matter of custom. So here Prabhupada is mentioning for Draupadi, because she is a good lady, she is a Vaishnavi, she is a great devotee of the Lord. So she is not considering the Shastric vision, but she is considering the matter of custom. And Prabhupada is mentioning in his lecture very clearly. He says that the devotees have very soft heart, and even Guru Maharaj says that devotees heart should be like the ghee. Ghee is very soft. Okay, even gold is yellow color and ghee is yellow color, but gold can be hard. The metal can be hard, but ghee is very soft. In the same manner, the devotee's heart should be very soft, and that is when the bhakti lata bija will grow. So we'll read further. By custom, Ashwathama was offered the respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accept the son of Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. So this is also an important point, that many times we see son of Brahmana is a Brahmana. We have discussed this many times, so I won't spend much time on this. If a Brahmana is not having the real qualities of a Brahmana, that person can never be called as a Brahmana. And sentiment only, we can never call the person as a Brahmana. Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur, he gives a very good example in his analogy. He says somebody was arguing with him that, the son of a snake is a snake. So why cannot be a son of a Brahmana be a Brahmana? But the point to understand here is that the son of a snake is called as a snake because he has got all the qualities of a snake. He has got poison, he has got that body, and he has got that reaction of a snake. So that is why he is called a snake. But if you see, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gives the example that when a child is born, along with the child, there are so many worms, germs, which also come out of the body of a woman. But we do not call them as the child of the woman. We call only the child of the child as the child of a woman. So see, just by birth, it is not possible, and that by giving this analogy, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated the this philosophy of people saying son of a snake is a snake. No, it is not that. It is as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya system Guna Karma Vibhagashe. As per your qualities and the action only, somebody can call as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishnava, or Shudra. And all these four sections of the society have got a lot of relevance. There is nothing called high caste or low caste. So that's the real preaching. That's the real system which was introduced by Krishna. Then further, Prabhupada is saying factually the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualification and not on the merit of simply being the son of Brahmana. But in spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Ashwathama be at once released, and it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So this last paragraph is for us, because these good points are the ones which we must take from the scriptures. Because Prabhupada is very clearly saying that these are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So if you want to become the pure devotee of the Lord, first thing is we need to serve the pure devotee of the Lord, like we are in the service of our Guru Maharaj or senior Vaishnavas. So that is the first characteristic. We can very easily grow in Krishna consciousness and get rid of our bad qualities. And then Prabhupada is saying that a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally. Like last time I was mentioning, Krishna gives those tests based on our capacity, but those tests are the one to show that, nothing is going to be with you. It's only your own Krishna consciousness which is going to be with you. Sometimes we might think that, okay, my wife is always, very supportive of me, but there can be situation, Krishna can show a situation where you realize that, okay, even I think the wife is not with me. Sometimes we might see that our followers, our members are very, very dear to us, but at times Krishna can show us that situation where we feel, okay, nobody is with us. Actually, many of you would have got these realizations already. So that is why people say that, only Lord is with us, otherwise there is nothing who is going to be with us. We are just wasting our time, developing our relationship, our family friendly nature, this, that, and all, with people around the world. But actually it is only Krishna who is going to be with us. And when we say Krishna, then all our the devotees of the Lord, they are also dear to us, because when we respect the devotees, then Krishna will like that. So because Krishna likes that, so we have to do that. We have to respect the devotees, we have to respect the Vaishnavas, and we have to tolerate. See, here Draupadi is tolerating so much. So that's very good quality, that's a very important quality, that tolerating. And it does not come very easily. So that is why Krishna will give small small situations wherein we will learn, okay, there is a issue in my house, there are difficulties, but in spite of the difficulty, my chanting is very good. It is not, I do not take anything to my chanting. My chanting is very nice. So if we do like this, if we practice slowly, then there will be a time when these external factors will not affect us, and we can keep things separately, the tribulation, the difficulty one side, and our Krishna consciousness and our chanting, following four regulative principles, eating only prasadam, this on the other side. We can never mix these two things. Many times when we try to follow things in Krishna consciousness, and there are difficulties, difficult situations, so where we very easily give it up. Like one example I'll give, there was a person, I was guiding him, and then the person says, I'm eating prasadam only. But then the situation came, the person had to travel abroad. And then I checked with the person, so what did you eat? He said, Prabhu, what to do now? Here I cannot get anything, so I ate whatever I got. I took some veg, and I ate. So I said, at least did you take some offered tulsi with you? So the person said no. So see, the devotee need to plan intelligently, because we are ready to fall. So Krishna is giving a situation where we can easily fall down. In the same manner, there was a person who was eating non-vegetarian food. So he gave up non-vegetarian food. But then there was a time when his family members, they were forcing him that if you do not eat non-vegetarian food, then you are going to be very weak, this, that, and all. And because of the family pressure, the person started eating non-vegetarian food. And after a few months, when I checked, so he said, Prabhu, what to do? The family is like this. You know, we cannot give up non-vegetarian food, because these are the things. So when we come across such situation, we can go back to the devotees and seek their guidance. That, Prabhu, in this situation, what should I do? So I remember one example where Amoglila Das Prabhuji was explaining. Somebody came to him and he said, Prabhu, if I do not eat non-vegetarian food, there will be issues in the family. So Amoglila Prabhu, he gave a very nice suggestion, and that suggestion, I hope everybody is vegetarian here, and that is why I want to give this answer. Otherwise, it will not be fair if I mention this point here. So this person, he asked this question to Amoglila Das Prabhu, and Amoglila Prabhu said that, do one thing. They ask you to eat non-vegetarian food, eat nicely non-vegetarian food, and then do one thing. Go to a corner and put your finger in your mouth and try to rub your tongue. So when you rub your tongue, you are going to vomit. And he said, after eating, you vomit it off. So when you vomit, so these people who are forcing you to eat non-vegetarian food, they will not force you, because they will understand, okay, this is not something which is not going to be digested for my son or daughter. So he said, you do this 2-3 times, and then they will not force you to eat non-vegetarian food. So it was so easy. But again, it depends upon our own determination. If we are not determined, then Krishna will wait. He will be telling, okay, I will wait for you to take another body, and we will continue in this material body like this. And the problem to continue in this material body is that we will be having a lot of suffering, we might think that I'm enjoying, but actually we are not enjoying. We will be suffering badly. And when we realize that, okay, this is real suffering, that is when we turn towards Krishna. So how is that suffering or how is that enjoyment is something which we can discuss in the upcoming session. Probably I'll continue from there. So in the interest of time, I will stop here. If I've committed any mistakes, please do forgive me. If I have said something which has offended you also, I seek your forgiveness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.